recording and pull up the handy-dandy slideshow. Use presenter and primary. So everybody should be able to see that screen right there. Hopefully everybody can see it. Everybody have a good weekend? It's all Rambo.
Sure.
It's all Last Blood. Oh, nice. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Y'all know they didn't pick
What?
I saw a thing where they wasn't gonna pick Sylvester. Like he was like the 11th person they auditioned
For Rocky?
for the Rambo movie.
You know who was supposed to play Rocky? Burt Reynolds. That wasn't a word. I can't see somebody from Florida playing a New Yorker. I really can't. I mean, a New Yorker has to play a New Yorker. I mean, especially one as thick, you know, Italian as Rocky was, you know. But anyway, look, Rambo was good. It's worth the money, I think. But, you know, if you're a, you know, snowflake or a buttercup, I wouldn't go see it. Trigonometric functions, circular functions. There we go. Arc length, we've already talked about arc length. We've already talked about, there's your cosine and sine. Remember, the unit circle, cosine is first. So, and I've already showed you this part of the unit circle, and you just have to think about your Cartesian coordinate system. To the right is 1 and 0. Up is 0, 1. Left is -0, -1 and 0. And down is 0, -1. So when you talk about your unit circle, the first part is doing the 4 quadrants. And they're called quartiles. And you just remember, don't do anything about the sine or the cosine. You just say to yourself, act like you're graphing on a regular Cartesian coordinate system and go 1, 0, 0, 1, -1, 0, and 0, -1, and then draw your circle, and now you've got cosine and sine for each one. But remember, cosine is first. And then, of course, here's your, we've already covered this. Okay? Don't forget, it must be in radian mode because you got to have pi over whatever, 2 pi over 6 or 3 pi over 6 or whatever the case may be. Okay? Now, we've already talked about this, and I told you that you need to be able to do each one. But remember, all students take what? Calculus. And remember that when you're dealing with the negative, you have to remember where the negative goes on each one of these. Okay? Now, you're going to have one that's undefined because you can't divide by what? 0. So you got one that's undefined. So, you know, I'm kind of glancing over this because we've already covered it, and hopefully, you know, it's basically fill out the unit circle is what it is. And by the time you get through with it, you got the unit circle filled out. All right, remember, evaluate the sine, cosine, and tangent with a function at 7 pi over 4. 7 pi over 4. What is 7 pi over 4? Well, first of all, you find out where you are. What is 7 pi over 4? Multiply by 180 over what? 180 over pi. 4 will go in there, what, 4 times? 4 will go in there 5, 45. So 7 times 45 is what? 225. It's more than that, isn't it? 7 times 4 is 28. So I believe it's going to be 315. Somebody check.
315.
So where is that? Now you know it's a 45-degree angle. You see what I'm saying? You got to know where you are. And once you know where you are, all students take calculus. So sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. What's positive?
Cosine.
The cosine and the what?
Secant.
The secant. So all the rest of them are what? Negative, and then you fill out. Now, you also know that if you want the cosine is going to be positive. There's the cosine. And the sign is going to be what? Negative. So negative square root of 2 over 2, that's your sign. And you're just filling out the unit circle. Now, I showed y'all how to do that a while back. All right, I showed y'all how to do, and all you do is do your special angles. You know that this special angle is going to be looking like this. And we know it's 1 square root of 2. You can put your negative on the negative 1 right here, or you can use the all students take calculus. I don't care. But eventually, you want the cosine and the sine on the outside of your unit circle. Capiche? Because like I said, this is just stuff that we did at the beginning. And there it is, doing the same thing. Evaluate the sixth circle. The first thing you do is find out where you are. Well, this is a 30-degree angle. So let's do that. 30-degree angle. So we know it's going to be that right there. Now you can use all students take calculus, or you can say this is going to be negative what? Square root of 3. And this is going to be positive 1, and this is going to be what? 2. And now you can do whatever you need to do. So Oscar had, we know we need sine and cosine. So Oscar had a hump. A is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. And that's your cosine. So right here, you put your cosine. And then what is Oscar had? Oscar had 1/2. 1/2 is right there. And you go through all the special angles, what do you end up with? You end up with the unit what? Circle. Now, I'm not going to go through each one. I've already done that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go, there it is. Sorry. Okay, now, if you want to print this out, print it out. That's fine. I can't make it any bigger. You need to print one out, put it on your index card, put it on the inside. I don't care how you do it. I don't want you to memorize it. I want you to understand it. And I've already showed you all how to learn it and how to understand it. Now, if you want to reinforce it by putting this on a card, we can go to your handy-dandy internet. Now, y'all got to make sure y'all see this, because this is some real hard work here. This will take at least 3 or 4, hits of the button. So I don't know if you can handle it. Unit circle. Okay, that's 6 letters? Something like that. And then I hit a button. And then I hit another button. And there we go. Now you pick whichever one you like. I don't care. And then what do? You put it on the index card, or you print it out as big as you want it and put it on the inside cover of your book, whatever the case may be. Am I telling you to do this to memorize it? No. I'm telling you to do it to reinforce what you've learned. Capiche? And that's pretty much it from this section. That's why they used to have it before this section. They used to have, that's 9.4 used to be the end of the first unit. That's why I forgot about 9.5. So with that being said, I don't think there's really a lot left, but we'll see. Okay, find the exact value of the cosine of 7 pi over 4. Well, what's the first thing you're going to do? Find out what? Where you are. 7 pi over 4, we already talked about it, is 315 degrees, right? So we know the cosine, we said what it was a while ago, and the sine is going to be the same because 1, 1, square root of 2. One of them's going to be negative, one of them's going to be positive. Find the exact value of 5 pi, that'll be 180 over pi. So that's going to be 3, we're going to 60, that's 300 degrees. Where is 300 degrees? 270 plus 30, which is your 60 degree angle. It's in the third quadrant. Okay? What is the tangent in the third quadrant? Negative or positive? Positive. No, all students take calculus. It's negative. That's the that's the fourth quadrant. I'm sorry. Fourth quadrant, right? Should be negative. Now that says negative 5 pi, so that means it's going backwards. So that means it's going this way. No, it's going this way, so it's in the second quadrant, or the first quadrant. It's in the first quadrant, so it's going to be positive. So use a calculator to approximate. Now you should be able to do that, but make sure it's in what mode? Radian mode. Okay. The first two, these two are test questions. That one I probably wouldn't ask on a test, but on a standardized test, if they don't have a degree symbol there, what is it? It's in radians. So you have to put your calculator in radians. And that's the answer. Told you one was positive, the other one is what? Negative. Same thing here. The tangent is the what? What's the tangent? Sine over what? Cosine. So that's what you do there to get your tangent. Or you can do your triangle. Will you get the same answer? Yes. Why is it positive? Because negative means you're going negative 270 degrees, which means you'll be in the what quadrant? First quadrant. Okay? And that's how you take the cosine of 1.85. And it's in radian mode. Not really a lot of brain work here. I want to spend more time on the previous section, which a lot of your test questions are going to come from. All right, application of circular function, phase f of the moon. Write that down. F of t is equal to 1/2 times 1 minus the cosine of t, where t is the called phase angle. F of t gives you the fraction of the moon's face illuminated by the sun. So it's kind of like what? It's kind of like your arc length. But since it's area, it's going to be a little bit different. What is the area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. That's where that comes from. 1/2 base times the height. Since we don't have a triangle per se, we have a conic or cone. Because if you was to roll this up, what would it look like? It would look like a funnel or a cone. So that's where that is not 1/2 base times the height. That's the function cosine. Anyway, we're not going there. Not right yet. And evaluate those expressions. What do? You plug and what? Plug and chug. There it is. All right. The cosine of 0, cosine is 0. Cosine of 0 degrees is 0. Is everything okay? I heard somebody say something. Miss Barry, don't mute your, unless you're making a lot of noise, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Plug in, you get 0. So that means that 0, remember, go back. Well, I'm trying to go back. What are you finding? F of t gives the fraction of the moon's face illuminated by the what? Sun. So what does that mean? 0 fraction of the moon's face. So 0 of the face is illuminated by the whatever. Okay? And that's what they're saying. And then the first quarter, half, that would be the first quarter. And then 1 would be full moon. In other words, it's real bright. So now you've learned something. Again, find the time between high tides. Here, you just subtract. All right, 14.7. We're getting into a little bit of, just common sense stuff, plug and chug common sense. You will see this with the sine and the cosine curve in the next unit. Not a big deal. I don't spend a lot of time on this because I don't test you on it. Okay? The time between peaks is 12.3 hours. Okay? If you did between here and here, that'd be 12.3. So, not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about that one. What is the difference? High tides were 2.6 feet. 2.6 is the top, and 1.4 is the what? So the height of the tide is 2.6 minus 1.4, which is 1.2 feet. Okay, here they're showing you the different ratios. This is like derivations, and I'm not. Okay. To me, this is misplaced. It should be in Unit 2. It shouldn't be in Unit 1, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. What they're saying is the cosine of theta. Cosine, Oscar had a hump is the same as OQ. Okay? Sine is the same as PQ. Well, think about it. R sine theta, you physics people, when you're trying to find the magnitude or the angle of a vector, you have R sine theta, you have R cosine theta. R cosine theta gives you the X. R sine theta gives you the what? The Y. And you're going to see that later. And there, you see, there's the Y, and there's the what? The X. And what they're going to do is this is going to apply in Unit 2 when we do polar coordinates, or in Unit 3 when we do polar coordinates, and we're trying to find the magnitude of a vector. Okay? We don't use the tangent. We don't use these very much because what you're heading toward is the vector. And suppose that angle TVU measures 60 degrees. TVU. Where's TVU? Right there. TVU is 60 degrees. TVU. So that angle right there is 60 degrees, which means this angle is 60 degrees. And they're going to ask you to find the segments in which you can do that after you find out a couple of the angles. And that's what they're fixing to tell you. Cosine of 30, boom. But I'm not going to test you on this. That's it. So let's get to the homework questions, and I'll tell you if they're important. You can send in 9.5 questions. We will go over them Thursday, but they're not that important. The first few are, but these, the ones that I covered right here, are not that important if they're in the homework. I would have to look to see if I put them in the homework when I created this course. I don't know if I put them in there. Hell, I just now remembered I got to go over 9.5, so you may not have too many of them. All right, let me get out of that. Okay, let's go over the questions that we got. Well, I tell you what, let's go over the test. So we want to go over the test. I may cover some of your questions over the test. So here we go. Hit the main menu, go to assignments, and now you're going to see what? A due date. So this is for some of you procrastinators that, want to wait till the last minute. You always worried about the date. Well, you got till Thursday. Okay? And there's the test. It tells you the date. It's due. I did extend it a couple extra days since some of you need to do 9.5. If there's even, let's see how many. I don't think I put any on there like that. There's a lot of graphic. Yeah, I did a lot of calculator stuff. I don't think I put a lot of those on there. No. Yeah, a lot of these are calculator questions. So that's good. I'm glad I did put a lot on there. Okay, so let's go to the test. and click on the test, and it'll tell you again. You got 34 questions, so that means they're 3 points apiece. You got 14 questions that are bonus handout, dumb questions at the end of the semester. Okay, so you got, what is that, 42? Everybody should make above a 42. Will they? No. We'll have somebody turn in a 36. We'll have somebody turn in a 5. So anyway, you got 3 chances. Therefore, those of you that have 15,000 excuses why you didn't, you have 3 chances. Tells you when it's due again to answer that DA question. When's it due? And you have how many minutes? 90. I'm only supposed to give you 50. So I give you an extra 40 minutes. So you want what?
My presentation isn't showing up.
Whoa.
My presentation isn't showing up.
Okay, thank you, Miss Berry. Thank you for actually communicating. Is the other showing up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was fixing to say, if we've been going for 30 minutes and nobody said a word, y'all suck. All right, I'm going to send it again, Miss Berry, and look for something flashing, because it may go in your bottom menu. Look for something flashing. There it is. It should send. Look for something flashing. Or it'll come up with a box that says accept. You see anything?
I don't see anything.
All right, I'm going to take you out and bring you back in, okay? That's probably why, because you brought yourself in, didn't you? Did you bring yourself into the class? She's not listening to me. Oh, she took herself out. Fine, be that way. No, I'm just kidding. Let me go ahead and add Miss Berry. Actually, I'm supposed to bring her in. That's what the directions on the handout says, right? Okay, she's not offline. Maybe it'll, she's supposed to X out. Maybe that'll work. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit start test so you can look at it. Now, why does it ask you twice if you want to start, or why does it tell you, are you sure you want to start? Because I have some people, these are live PD people, I have some people that decide that they want to take a test during a thunderstorm. Is that a good idea? No, it's not a good idea, so don't do that. Let me try it again. Miss Berry, she has to, okay, now she's green. Here we go. Okay, Miss Berry, you should be asked if you want to accept something, so make sure you accept it, okay? Miss Berry, are you there?
I can see it.
Okay, you can see it now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, so this is the number 2 most missed bonus question. I don't know how you could miss this question, but some people miss it. Okay, there is a question, find the quotient or the product. Some of this, remember I told you I was going to give you the review test with the Unit 1 test. This is a review question. So I'm going to blow it up. I can't blow it up for you. I'm sorry. Let me see. No, I can't do anything because it is a test. So go ahead and do that. So that's division. So do we divide by a fraction or do we multiply by the reciprocal? Multiply by the reciprocal. So that's going to be 50z to the 7th over 2z to the 4th multiplied by, and I'm going to do that in Verde or whatever color is set, multiplied by 10z to the 4th over 625z. And look, a lot of people say, well, what does it say? Find the product. How do we know that's not a plus? What does it say here? Does it say sum? No, it doesn't say sum. So it's not a plus symbol. It is a division symbol. And what happens to the z to the 4th?
They
Cancel.
cancel.
And this is a 1, so that makes that z to the 6th. And 2 will go in there 1 time, 2 will go in there 5 times. 50, let's hold off on the 50. We know 5 will go in there 10 times. 5 will go in here how many times? 125? Right? 5 will go into 125 how many times? 25. So what's 10z to the 6 times 1? 10z to the 6th. And 1 times 25 is 25. I could have done 25 and 10. So that's what? 5 over, or 2 over 5. Z to the 6th. Or 2z to the 6th over 5. Or 2/5 z to the 6th. I don't care how you write it. That's a review question. I gave you some easy ones. So everybody should make at least a 60 on this test, will they? No.
Oh.
What would the world be without live PD, right? What did I get? 2/5. What did I get? 2/5? Z to the what?
6.
6. Shift up. Next. All right, find the product. Shortcut number what? What shortcut is this? Number 1 or number 2? I'll narrow it down for you. Number 1 or number 2? Number 2. So that's going to be 25r squared plus 40r t squared plus 16t to the 4th. And that's your answer. And that's what you should be able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. 25 r to the shift up. Oh, shit. I hate typing stuff. R squared minus what? Minus, that's going to be what? 40 r at t squared plus 16 t to the what? T to the 4th. And that's shortcut number 2. When does homework terminate? Toward the end of the material. When not. This is the deadhead question that was asked. The guy that didn't bring any books, didn't bring any pencils, didn't bring anything to class. After grade turn-in, he said, "Oh, I thought you were going to replace the lowest grade with the final test grade." Does it say yes? I think about it. What does it say? It says no way, no how. He had 4 of those questions, and he asked that after grade turn-in. Now, as me as a teacher, am I saying to myself, "Good God, this guy can't read"? Or is this trying to get over it? He's trying to get over it. And of course, he got an F. There we go. Subtract, distribute, and combine what? Like terms. Now, wait, yes. Is algebra important? Yes. You can't pass calculus without algebra, so that's why I'm still giving you algebra. Am I going to give you algebra on the 2nd and 3rd unit test? Yes. Why? Because I'm a bastard? No. Because I want you to pass that calculus. I don't want you to forget. What?
Like switch it to
2n squared plus 7n minus 8. And what's 4n plus 2n? 6n squared. And then plus 10n. Y'all check my math. Okay. And don't worry, there's plenty of, I think I put half of it, review. I put 10 questions, review, and about 8 questions, trig, or vice versa. It's pulling from different questions. So you may get 8 questions from Algebra Review and 10 questions from Trig, or you may get 10 questions from Algebra Review, like that. Okay, it's about equal. So, and then you get 14 bonus questions that hopefully none of you will miss. So that's going to be 6n squared, I'm trying to hurry, plus 10n minus 8. Next. And it's supposed to randomize it. It's supposed to mix them up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If you go to your grade book, at the end of the semester when you finish all your grades, where should you go to get your overall grade? This is the student. It always emails me at the end of the semester. I always have at least one student that will email me, call and leave a message, or text me. Where do I find my grade? Factor. Which shortcut is this? Be careful. Which shortcut is it? That means it's not rhetorical. I want you to interact with me. Y'all suck. I gave y'all the 5 shortcuts. Which one is it? It's not perfect squares. And it's not addition. It's not the sum. So that means it's the difference of 2 what? Cubes. Thank you, one person with a mumble. I should have 15 or 20 people saying, that's the difference of 2 cubes.
That's the difference of 2.
Y'all are all going to fail. Y'all are all going to end up on live PD. Clocked you at going 107 miles an hour. I didn't do anything, officer. That's what gets me. They got 2 or 3 busted tail lights. They got 5 pounds of drugs in the back seat. They go 110 down the road. They get out and they say, "What are you stopping me for? What's the problem?" And all of you know, those are the people when you were in 2nd and 3rd grade and the teacher caught them doing something. What'd they say? "I didn't do it." Okay, y'all didn't go. Pendleton didn't go with anybody like that, but most of us did. 64, they're not going to say anything. S cubed is equal to, what's the cube root of 64?
4.
Be careful, 4. 4 minus S times 16 plus 4S plus S squared. Now, there's 3 or 4 people going, "Oh, I need to go over that." I showed y'all the 5 shortcuts the first week of class, or the 2nd week of class. But it's my fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Me and the Russians. That's all right. Bernie's going to take care of all of us. You got to feel the burn, people. Everything's going to be free. They say Pocahontas is moving up, and said she's already passed Bernie and Biden. That's really sad. That's sad because she's crazy.
Anybody that's went this far out now.
And she's crazy.
Nobody ever went this far.
At least Bernie really believes. He's got, he's really got that
Whole
belief.
life has been.
Yeah, he really believes. She's just crazy. She did. If you say to Pocahontas, if you paint your hair purple and stand upside your head, I'll vote for you. That she'll do it. Whatever you want her to do, she'll do it. She's a, what do you call it, panderer?
They all are. They're politicians.
Well, that's true. No, there's one that's not. You don't pander. You tell you go to hell. Then he gets fussed out. Then he gets fussed out for it. All right, next one. I believe that, but like I said, the best ones on the Democrat with some decent sense They're casting them out.
Yeah.
Well, Kamala
They're too
Harris, she don't have a
centrist.
chance in
They're too
hell.
centrist, right? They're not
Yeah,
radical enough.
they're not crazy enough. I mean, what's her name? Gabby?
Altogether.
Yeah. She might as well forget it. They're not going
Fox
to
News
hire.
yesterday advocated for her place because the Democrats have all given up on it.
Yeah. And she's actually, she's got more sense than all of them. But, and then there's Kamala Harris, which I think deep down, she's more of a moderate than she lets on. I don't think you can be a prosecutor and not be a moderate. Okay, I'll shut up. Find the distance in kilometers between the following pairs of cities. Assuming they lie on the same what? North-south line. The radius of the Earth is approximately 6,400 kilometers. Find the distance in kilometers between the two pairs of cities. This one, city A, is 40 degrees north. And city B is 22 degrees what? South. All right, so do that.
Like 6,400 by something.
Hate that.
Well, the radius of the Earth, so the line, you got to draw a picture. Dang old. Now, actually, the Earth is an ellipsoid, but we're not going, it's an ellipsoid, kind of like that. And the radius of the Earth is 0.4.
It's like that. It's like
So you
this.
put a dot right there in the middle.
I'm like,
Put a dot right there in the middle. And the radius is 6,400. This is saying city A. Oh, no, I can't draw my mouse. You can forget it. So, city A, I don't like the way this question is worded. City A is, and all of these are on the north-south what? North-south line. I'm going to put a little thing right there for the origin. Said, find the distance in kilometers between the following pairs of cities. Assuming they lie on the same north-south line. See, that's what, I don't understand how they can lie on the north-south line when they have a bearing of 40 degrees north, because 40 degrees north would be here. They don't give you, I'm thinking they're talking about this. And the radius is what? 6,400 kilometers is what I'm thinking. And then city B is 22 degrees. Now I'm reading this question like 22 degrees, this is 40 degrees, and this is 22 degrees. That makes sense? So that's what I'm reading the question. Has anybody seen this one in the homework? Yes or no? Okay.
No.
Radius of the Earth. That's what I'm looking at. Now, if this is, but I don't like the way the question's worded. 40 plus 22 is what? 66? So that means that this angle right here is what? 30 plus 64 plus, 40 plus, that's 62?
No.
What's 62 from 80 or 90? 28? So that means that this angle right here is 28 degrees.
wait, wouldn't it be 118?
Oh, yeah, 180. Yeah, I'm sorry. What is it from 180? I'm sorry.
118.
What?
118.
118. See, that don't make any sense because we're not in law of sines and law of cosines. I don't like this question. I'm gonna take it out. Let's skip this question because we're not. I don't like the way this question's worded. And y'all haven't seen this one in the homework, have you?
No.
No.
Okay. Does everybody say no? I thought I heard a yeah. Okay. I'll take it out because I haven't. We haven't. That's not a 90-degree angle. I'm either not reading this question right, or does anybody have any input? Because when I say 22 degrees south, say again.
Is that asking for the arc length of on the outside between the two cities?
Yes, that could be it. The radius of the Earth, it says, well, then that would be R is equal to theta, so you'd have to change 118 into, let's see if that's it. Y'all write this question down as a question mark, but let's go with, thank you for that input. So we know S is equal to R times theta, but we've got 118 degrees, so 118, somebody change that. That's 118 degrees is equal to, so that's 180, so it's got to put degrees, so that's pi over 180. So take 118, divide by 180, what do you get? 118, 180 times pi. What do you get? Somebody just do everything. 118 divided by 180 and multiply. Give me 4 decimal points, please.
So after multiply times pi?
118 divided by 180,
Right.
get that decimal, and then multiply by pi. What do you get?
2.05.
0.5 what?
94.
Okay, take that and multiply by 6,400. Somebody do that for me.
So it's 13,180.
13,180 miles or kilometers. I'm going to put that, we'll check it and see if I got it right. I don't like the question because the way they've got it worded, unless you draw a picture, and I don't like, they should say 22 degrees, or they should say 40 northeast 40 degrees, and southeast 22 degrees. That's what they should say, but I don't.
That rounds to 181.
13,181. 13,181. And I don't try to pull any punches. If we get that one wrong, I'm gonna take that one off until, all right, if y'all see one in the homework, send it, but I don't know where that one came from. Okay, convert radian measure to degrees. Oh, that one's difficult. So we're gonna multiply this by what? Well, technically that's 4 pi or something pi. So we're going to multiply by 180 over what? Pi. So take 4 and multiply by 180 over pi. And then you're going to have to change it to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So I'm going to let y'all do that. Actually, you do, yeah, what is it? The nearest minute.
This says 9
Degrees.
and basically 11.
Now, if it says 0.11, you got to change that to, so you got to multiply that by 60, don't you? Oh, you did it that way. Okay. Now raise that 59. Is that, you're raising that to 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, give me the degrees.
229,
229
11.
and 11. And you just, that's a calculator drill. So make sure you can work your calculator there. Okay, this is, oh gosh, I hope y'all can do this. This is 3 to the 8th power. Somebody tell me what 3 to the 8th power is. 3 to the 5th power is 32. No, it's not. I'm thinking of 2. What is it? I don't know. Somebody tell me. 3 to the 8th power.
6,561.
6,561.
Correct.
All right, next. Okay, email him over and over, or his cell phone. I think so. Use the FOIL. Mr. McClure, I do not understand what you are saying. FOIL method. So what do we get? 15z squared. 15z squared. Let's see, we got a 15 minus 3. What's 15 minus 3? 12, Hubert. That's right, class. Thank you for the input. Thank you for the interaction. 12 UZ. And then what's negative 1 times negative 3u? Negative 1u times negative 3u. Negative 3u what?
Squared.
Appreciate y'all's interaction. 2 people out of 15. Thank you. What's wrong, Pendleton? Y'all were talkative last Thursday. Did that just do you in or what?
I'm tired.
Somebody got mad at you, didn't they, for talking to me? I figured that's what happened. All right, sketch the least positive angle and what values of the 6 trigonometric functions the terminal side angles the standard position defined by negative square root of 3 plus 1y is equal to 0. All right, where do you see negative 1.7x and 1y? Let's draw a picture. Oh, I'm just going to give up. Let's go with negative 1.7x negative 1.7x and positive 1 what? 1y. So it looks something like that. Which one looks like that? Well, negative 1.7 negative 1.7x plus y. I don't know where x is greater than, where x is less than 0. So that looks like D. Not?
Yeah, D.
I don't remember seeing this one in the homework either. And of course the sine, well, the sine here is equal to, oh, okay, I know, they did the freaking Pythagorean theorem. That's what it is. Okay, so we take 1 squared plus square root of 3 squared is going to be 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So that's where they're getting the 4. The hypotenuse is 4. So the sine is equal to what? Sine Oscar had. So that's going to be what? Square root, let's see, 1. That don't look right. Something ain't right with this one. What are we missing? Which of the graph shows negative plus where x is less than? Well, if x is negative, yeah, you can move it to the other side and be positive. Y is equal to the square root. And y is equal to the square root of 3x. I think it's D. But we'll come back to this one. I want to get to the other ones. Let's come back to this one. Write down number 14 on that one. I'm going to keep going. Some of these, I don't know where they're coming from, so y'all have to excuse me. This is the first time I've made a test with this book. Find exact values or expressions for the 6 trigonometric functions. All right, this one's pretty straightforward. This is one of those questions, they don't ask you the numbers, they ask you all this trash first. Remember that homework problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to write for angle A. So this is equal to A, and this is equal to O, and this is equal to H. So sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant, and I can just go through and so sine is going to be AB, BC over AC, right? BC over AC, AC over BC, and so on. So my cosine, Oscar hat A hump, is going to be AB over AC, AB over AC, AC over AB. And then of apple is going to be BC over AB, BC over AB, and AB over BC. And then, of course, fill in the numbers. I'm not going to do all that, but y'all can do that. Remember me to look at number 14. Next. Okay, that's pretty simple. How do I write with a positive exponent? What I do? I flip it. Okay, they said using, so that's going to be 125 over, oh, I got to put parentheses around it. 125 over 27 raised over 27. Hold on a minute. I suck typing. Shift up to the 4/3. And I think that's all they want because it just says rewrite. Now, if you want to take the cube root, that's exponent over index. That's the cube root. That'd be 5 over 3 raised to the 4th power, which is going to be a big BA. 3 is 81, so the bottom be 81. So I don't know what they want there. If they want the, it looks like to me they just want that. Factor. How do you factor this one? Well, it's not a perfect square, so you got to use the reverse what? FOIL method. So use the reverse FOIL method, and that's going to give you 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Yeah. And y be a -7 and a positive what? 6? Oh, I don't know how to write it, but let's go ahead and write it. Let's go with 6 here. 6 and let's say this will be a positive 6 and a -7. So that's going to be positive y. That'd be 6z plus y. Y'all help me out. I'm doing it in my head. So, and then 7z minus y. 7z minus y. Y'all check me right quick. Make sure. I think I did that in my head. That'd be positive. No. It'd be -7. Be -7 right here and positive y right there. Because we want a -1, right? So that'd be a negative, and that right there would be a positive. And try to do it on notebook paper and check me. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0, this is for the student that said, oh, I didn't know 0 would make my grade go down. Did I reply? No. And that's B. Kind of hard to miss that one. And which one is this one? Difference of 2 what? Difference of 2 squares, which you may have to do twice. So that's going to be W squared plus what? 25 times, I got to put parentheses. Now be careful here. What does those two words out there say? Factor what?
Completely.
What is W squared minus 25?
2 squares.
W plus 5 times what? W minus 5. Well, that should be your answer. I don't know why it made the parentheses smaller, but that's the answer. Okay, here's one of your 9.4 questions. It says find side A, or angle A. Now somebody take 35.0892 away from 90 degrees. It's going to be dang old 54.
4.92.
54.92.
Oh, 9198.
9198. Thank you. And go ahead and find the lengths of side A and side C. So go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to round to 3 decimal places. I'm going to let y'all calculate that one. I'm not going to put that on a calculator. It'll take me forever with the mouse. So inverse sine, Oscar had, yeah. Multiply 58.852, Oscar had, 8 home, yeah. Okay, cosine of 35, blah, 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 times 58.852. What is that? Cosine of 35.0892 times 58.852. What do you get? Okay, now I'm starting to worry.
My calculator's dead, sorry.
Well, Mandy, that means nobody's going to answer me because nobody else knows how to talk. And the ones that do, they're scared to say anything because they're scared to not beat up on them. What do you get, people? Okay, we'll move on. I guess y'all can't do it. All right, solve the right triangle, same type. I'm just going to move on because I want to show you what other questions are on here. Same type. I'm not going to, and I know some of y'all are going to explode in a few minutes, so I need to hurry up. There's another bonus question. 2010, that's the only one that equals 100. We did that one in class, so I'm not going to do that one because we did that one in class. Highest grade. There's another rational takeout. Use your reverse FOIL, factor out a common term or shortcut, and cancel. That's the algebra review question. 0 has been placed, makes your grade go down. Convert the following degrees to radians. So what do you multiply by? Pi over 180. So that's going to be 27 over 18, which is what? 9 pi over 6, which is 3 pi over 2. Somebody help me out there. 3 pi over 2. And hopefully you feel good about yourself. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, challenge it. How do you do that? Call Hubert's office 5 or 6 times. Yeah. Have a temper tantrum. what should a student do if they have to go on a cruise? You need to what? Communicate. Same thing with your employer. If you get sick, you get fired, you don't say something. Next question. Factor the trinomial. Okay, y'all can factor that. This is a minus b, quantity squared, minus 10ab. Use your reverse FOIL. And a minus b, replace that with x. Replace a minus 9b with x. Factor it using the reverse FOIL or shortcuts. Then replace x with what? A minus 9b. Why does Hubert not do extra points or bonus questions at the end of the semester? Because he wants me to fail to live in a ditch. That is a possible answer. I will take that, but the answer is Charlie. If a student does not complete a homework assignment, what grade will be recorded? You notice there's 3 of those questions in there. Why? Because for some reason at the end of the semester, everybody goes stupid. And they try to say they didn't know. And this one says inch angle. This is -3, -4. Use Pythagorean theorem. This is the question I thought that other question was. So I don't know if I've got it mixed up with another unit or what. Okay, which one is -3 and -4? Okay. And now you can use your Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared is 9, 25. I think you get 25. So your hypotenuse is 5. And you know all students take calculus. So you know the tangent and the cotangent are going to be positive, and then you fill out what you need to. That's what I thought the other one was. So I'm going to take the other one off. Since I see this one, I'm going to take that other one off. And that's it. Now look at here. If you get instant feedback,
Yeah.
I know I got some of them wrong, okay? I didn't fill out some of them. I have 6 unanswered. And I still got a 71, okay? So even if you're not too cognitive or sentient, you're still able to make a 50 or 60 on this test without any problem, okay? Now, let me go back, and I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Now, what is Thursday? Homework questions. I'm going to go